The upcoming Arrowverse crossover is based off a comic book of the same name, Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's going to be the biggest crossover yet. It's probably going to have a much bigger impact than any crossover come before it, as not only is it killing off the main character of the first show from the Arrowverse, the show that the Arrowverse is named after, Arrow, or at least it seems like it is, it's also probably going to have a much bigger impact than that, or at least another big impact, and that's because in the original comic, the impact on the multiverse was huge, as there was no longer a multiverse at the end. Instead, after every multiverse except for 5 were destroyed, those 5 universes were put together into one more powerful universe in order to defeat the Anti-Monitor, and that is what New Earth is. Now, that actual concept, Crisis on Infinite Earths in general, was kind of, it seems, created because of some sort of corporate move. DC bought the rights to 3 different comic book companies, those companies being Fawcett Comics, which owns Captain Marvel and the Marvel family, also now known as Shazam in the Marvel family, and those guys are already very big members of the DC universe at this point. But then there's also Quality Comics, who own the Freedom Fighters, but also probably most popular right now is Plastic Man, who is from Quality Comics. There's also Charlton Comics, who has characters like Blue Beetle, although only the Ted Kord and Dan Garrett version, not the Jaime Reyes version, and also The Question and Captain Atom, as well as kind of Watchmen, as Watchmen was based off the Charlton Comics characters. So what they wanted to do was bring those universes that they bought into the main DC universe, along with Earth 2 characters, so they created Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I do think something similar will probably happen in the upcoming crossover. I do think that in the end of the upcoming crossover, there won't be a multiverse anymore, and there will just be one universe, and it'll probably be the combination of 5 different universes that we've either been introduced to, or we're going to be introduced to in the upcoming crossover. These 5 different universes would come together and form a complete DC universe in the end, and honestly, just that idea makes me okay with the fact that characters like Superman and Martian Manhunter, for the characters on Earth-38, are on a separate universe to the main versions of the characters from Earth-1, and honestly, just this idea of the universes coming together to form a complete DC universe, I'm now okay with the fact that the Earth-38 characters are separate from the Earth-1 characters, as long as they're not after the crossover. But with that in mind, I'm going to go over all of the universes that we've been introduced to in the Arrowverse, except for all the Harrison Wells ones, meaning the universes that literally we know nobody except for the Harrison Wells of that universe. So this only leaves 7 universes, those universes being Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth X, which I'm putting there because it's kind of Earth 10 in the comics, but anyway, Earth 19, Earth 38, and Earth 90, maybe also the Black Lightning universe. Black Lightning is confirmed to appear in the upcoming crossover, but whether or not that is in the Earth 38 universe or its own universe, that I don't know. So for this video, I'm going to count it as a different universe, so that makes 8 universes that we know are a part of the Arrowverse that have more than just a Harrison Wells. So let's start. Let's try to figure out what those 5 universes will be for the upcoming crossover, starting with Earth 1. Now, Earth 1 being a part of one of the 5 universes that combines is 100% a given. It's one of the universes that in the comics was combined, those universes being Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth X, Earth 4, and Earth S. X4 and S were the publishing companies that DC bought, with Earth 1 and 2 being their own. But Earth 1 being one of the universes in those 5, and also being the main universe in the comics, but also the main universe in the Arrowverse, it's a given that it will probably be in one of the 5. And it's like 100% positive that it will. There are the Team Arrow characters, the Team Flash characters, the Legends, there's the JSA, there's the Batwoman characters as well as Batman himself, there's the Suicide Squad, and a lot of more miscellaneous characters like Dr. Fate, the Spectre, Huntress, Wildcat, and characters like that contribute a large part to the completion of the DC universe as a whole. A lot of locations like Central City, Star City, Gotham City, Coast City, Keystone City, Bloodhaven, Themyscira, etc. And I do think that Earth 1 is a given for one of the 5 universes in the Arrowverse's upcoming New Earth, so that's just 1 down and 4 to go. Earth 2, I think, would make a lot of sense to have to be one of the 5 universes that are combined in the upcoming crossover. Again, Earth 2 was one of the 5 universes that combined in the comics, 1, 2, 4, S, and X. 3 of those exist in the Arrowverse, 1, 2, and X, and I think out of those 3, 1 is obviously the most likely in the Arrowverse, but I think 2 is not just as likely, but also fairly likely, as it was fairly prominently shown in Season 2 of The Flash. I mean, there are a lot of characters that we know, like Jesse Quick, Black Canary from Earth 2, Solovar, and Harry Harry Wells, as well as King Shark, and a couple other villain characters. There is a Green Arrow on that universe, but I don't think that would really mean anything, as the Green Arrow of the new universe would probably just be from Earth 1, but I do think adding Earth 2 would add a lot to the new universe. Mainly, I think it would add Gorilla City, which is pretty big, as well as Atlantis, which is a publicly known city on Earth 2. Atlantis is obviously a very, very important place in the DC universe, as that is where Aquaman rules and is from, so maybe that can add Aquaman in some way. So I do think that Earth 2 should probably be one of the 5 universes that combine into the new universe in the upcoming crossover at the end. So that's 2 down, 3 to go. Out of every universe in the Arrowverse that has anything other than Harrison Wells, Earth 3 is the universe that is explored the least. We've only ever been there once in one scene, and that lasted like a minute, and we've only ever been introduced to 2 characters from that universe, the characters being Jay Garrick, who's a fairly important and prominent character on The Flash that I do think should survive to the new Earth, as well as the Trickster, which Earth 1 already has a Trickster, so that doesn't really matter. There's also an unnamed female speedster that Jay is training, which I'm sure will probably be a character in the upcoming crossover, but I do not think Earth 3 should survive the upcoming crisis, because every universe in the multiverse was destroyed except for 5 that was combined. I do think Earth 3 should be one of the universes that does not survive. However, I do think Jay Garrick himself should survive. I don't know about the unnamed female speedster. I mean, maybe her too. Maybe those 2 characters can be the only characters who survive the destruction of their multiverse or their universe, because in the comics there were a couple characters, namely Lady Quark, Superboy Prime, and Pariah, who survived the destruction of their universe, and maybe here Jay Garrick could be one of those characters. Either way, Earth 3 just doesn't add enough to the new Earth to be one of the 5 universes, so I do not think it should be one of the 5. So still, we are 2, and we still have 3 to go to add to the new Earth. Next up is Earth X. Now, Earth X was one of the publishing companies, one of the comic book companies that DC Comics bought, and they wanted to put that into their universe after that, so they did that in Crisis on Infinite Earths, making Earth X one of the 5 universes that was put into the new Earth in that comic book. Characters like the Ray, Uncle Sam, Phantom Lady, Black Condor, as well as probably most prominently Plastic Man from Quality Comics, and that were then in the main DC universe. Now, while Uncle Sam and Plastic Man are not a part of Earth X in the Arrowverse, I still think that Earth X should probably be one of the 5 main universes that are in the new Earth. I do think that all the Nazi stuff probably wouldn't be in there, as they weren't in the comics. It's just that everything that we see in the present day on Earth X is moved back to the 1940s to World War II, so that means the freedom fighters, mainly probably Black Condor, Phantom Lady, and Dollman, maybe the Ray and Citizen Cold, but I think those 2 characters would probably be more in the present day, but those other characters would be from the past during World War II. But I think that Earth X, considering its importance in the Arrowverse, or at least 1 year of the Arrowverse being year 6 during Arrow Season 6 and The Flash Season 4, we had Crisis on Earth X, as well as 2 seasons of the god-awful Freedom Fighters, The Ray. No matter how bad that show is, it was fairly important in the Arrowverse, or at least Earth X was fairly prominently shown, so to have that universe as fleshed out as it is, and then just to destroy it, I don't think that would really make any sense, so I do think it should be one of the 5 universes in the upcoming new Earth. It would add the Ray, Citizen Cold, Phantom Lady, Black Condor. Probably most prominently would be Red Tornado, and maybe Plastic Man is there as well, and maybe Uncle Sam is there as well. Maybe by the time the crossover rolls around, they're going to introduce those 2 characters from Earth X, but at this point, I think the Ray, Citizen Cold, Red Tornado, Phantom Lady, Black Condor, and I think he's dead, but Dollman as well. I think that's enough, considering how fleshed out Earth X is, to be a part of the new Earth, so that's 3 down and 2 to go. Next up is Earth 19. Earth 19 is where Gypsy is from, is also where Accelerated Man, Breacher, and H.R. Wells is from. Now, Breacher is retired, H.R. Wells is dead, so that just leaves Gypsy and the Accelerated Man. The Accelerated Man isn't even a character, hasn't had any lines. His character as a whole is really just a bunch of cameos. Now, his costume is fairly comic book accurate, but it's not exactly very good, as the costume in the comics is fairly boring. Overall, it's really just Gypsy from Earth 19, and because of that, I don't really think Gypsy needs to be in the new Earth. I think she could be one of the characters that either survives the destruction of her universe, or unlike Jay Garrick, is just a part of the destruction of her universe, so she is erased from existence, because honestly I don't think she's important enough, unlike Jay Garrick, to be one of the characters who survives her universe. So Earth 19 should be fully destroyed and should not be one of the universes that survives in the upcoming crossover. Next up is Earth-38, which is a obvious given. Earth-38 is the second most fleshed out universe in the Arrowverse. Now, it's definitely not nearly as fleshed out as Earth-1, but it is fairly fleshed out with 4 seasons showing it, and if Black Lightning is a part of Earth-38, then that's an extra 2 seasons. Earth-38 has characters like Superman, Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, and Miss Martian, which those characters alone would be enough to warrant it being a part of the new DC universe. I mean, just Superman alone would do that, but it also has the Legion of Superheroes like Brainiac 5, Mon-El, Saturn Girl, Chameleon, Dream Girl, and Karate Kid, and other characters like mainly Batman, which that doesn't really matter because Batman is also on Earth 1, and I'm guessing in this new universe, Earth 1's Batman would be the main Batman, but all of those characters, like especially Superman and Martian Manhunter, and all the characters affiliated with them, and the Legion of Superheroes, are 100% enough. On top of that, the flesh-outedness of Earth-38, how fleshed out it is compared to every other universe except for Earth 1, is enough to warrant it being a part of one of the 5 universes in the upcoming New Earth. So that's 4 down and just 1 to go. So which of the next 2 universes, Earth 90 or Earth Black Lightning or whatever it's called, will be a part of this new Earth? So let's go over Earth 90, the universe that the 90s Flash TV show takes place in, so it has a whole season of television behind it, so it's definitely one of the more fleshed out universes in the Arrowverse. Earth 90 is home to mainly Barry Allen, aka The Flash, but in Elseworlds, or the prelude to Elseworlds, in the end credit scene of the episodes before Elseworlds, we saw kind of the Justice League of Earth 90. We saw The Flash, but we also saw Stargirl, Hawkgirl, Hawkman, Huntress, Green Arrow, Captain Cold, 2 Captain Colds actually, Firestorm, Jesse Quick, the Ray, and also later in Elseworlds, the Flash actually mentioned what seems to be the Green Lantern, as he asked John Diggle why he's not wearing his ring. Now, I think that Green Lantern reference is incredibly substantial for this universe. I think that literally nothing else would be adding anything to the New Earth. I mean, every other character that I mentioned so far, other than a new other character that I haven't mentioned, Nightshade, who's not even a DC character, so that doesn't really matter. The only character that would add anything is the Green Lantern of that universe. Combining Earth 90 into the main universe would make it so that John Diggle was always John Stewart, and he was always a Green Lantern, or at least has been for a while, so that is really all it would add. But honestly, I don't think that's enough. I would rather just John Diggle either keep his name or change his name on Earth 1. It doesn't really matter either way, but also get a Green Lantern ring and have the same exact backstory and development that he's had so far. So adding Earth 90, I just don't think it would be enough, so I don't think Earth 90 should be one of the 5 universes a part of the upcoming New Earth, so I think it should be destroyed. So finally, we have the Black Lightning universe, which I still am not convinced that it's not a part of Earth-38, and I really, really want it to be, because this is just not enough to be one of the 5 universes. So here's the thing. If it is a part of Earth-38, then obviously there's nothing to talk about here, but if it isn't, then I do think it probably should be one of the 5 universes to be a part of the main 5 universes that are combined, as it is fairly fleshed out with 2 seasons behind it. The characters of Black Lightning, Thunder, and Lightning I don't think should be erased from existence, as well as that whole world and surrounding world. Even though I'm not a fan of the show, I haven't watched the show past season 1, I do think that it probably should not be erased from existence because they still have a show to go on. It doesn't seem like they're canceled anytime soon, so I do think that Black Lightning, again, if it's part of Earth-38, then that's fine. I think it should definitely be a part of the New Earth with the other characters from Earth-38, but if it isn't and it's a part of a different universe, then it probably should be a part of the New Earth. But honestly, I am going under the assumption here that it is a part of Earth-38, so I think the 5th and final universe a part of this New Earth should be a new one that we are introduced to in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and this universe would 100% complete the Arrowverse as a DC universe. Characters like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, Zatanna, Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, Captain Atom, Etrigan, and characters from the Teen Titans like Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy could all be from Earth 4 or a different universe, but I'm going to go Earth 4 because that is one of the universes from the comics that was a part of the New Earth, maybe even Earth X can be that, the Captain Marvel universe, but I'd rather just go with Earth 4 that can have every single character from the DC universe, every single major hero that is not a part already of any universe in the DC universe. In the Arrowverse, again, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, those are the really big ones, but I also think like the apocalyptic characters like Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, Orion, all the New Gods, and Darkseid himself, maybe those characters could be a part of Earth 4. There should be maybe a Teen Titans on Earth 4 Therefore, overall, I think that if Black Lightning is a part of Earth-38, which I am not very convinced that it's not, then the fifth universe should be a new universe that is introduced in the upcoming crossover, and that is a universe that would fully complete the DC universe along with the rest of the 4 other universes that are combined into the new one to make a 100% complete DC universe. So again, going over the 5 universes that I think should make up the new Earth: Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 4, Earth 38, and Earth X. But if Black Lightning is a part of a different universe, then it probably just should be Earth 1, 2, X, 38, and whatever universe Black Lightning is from. But I don't think that Black Lightning is going to be part of a 100% separate universe. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below which 5 universes do you think should combine after the end of the upcoming crossover. Which 5 universes do you think would make basically the most complete and optimal DC universe? I should probably mention that this list and this thought process means that characters from the Titansverse and the DCEU, and I guess Smallville as well, are not part of the Arrowverse's multiverse, which honestly I don't really have a problem with. While I would really like to see especially the Titansverse characters team up with the Arrowverse characters, it's probably not likely, and it's very unpractical, as going forward, like in the DCU and the Titansverse, less so Smallville, I mean, that's not continuing, but in those other universes, they would have to go under the canon of the Arrowverse, which I really think would kind of either weigh them down, or it's just not, it wouldn't be their problem. So I do think that those universes should most likely, or will most likely, stay separate from the Arrowverse. So this is under the assumption that those universes are not a part of the Arrowverse's multiverse, and are a part of a separate multiverse. So anyway, let me know what you think the 5 universe should be in the comments down below, and what do you think of the 5 universes that I put together. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.